Welcome to Recollection Mall. If you were a mall rat like me, or spent your formative years hanging out or being dragged to the mall by your parents or your parental units, then you've come to the right place. Have you ever gone into your childhood, teenage, or current mall and wondered, wasn't there a store or restaurant there? So let's take a trip down memory lane and take a look at that mall's history of yesteryear. Be sure you stick around to the end of this video and see if you can take my mall survey. So leave a comment or a memory of this mall below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Milwaukee's second mall-type shopping center was built on 105 acres, located 9.5 miles northwest from Milwaukee in the suburban area known as Wauwatosa. Construction on the prospective Westgate Center, as it was called in the planning stations, commenced in July of 1956. The Westgate, in reference to the groundbreaking Southgate. Bayshore, which had opened in 1954, was to be Northgate. It was later renamed the Mayfair Center because there was numerous other Westgate malls around the country. 4 architectural firms had contributed to the mall's design. Milwaukee's Grassold, Johnson & Associates and Chicago's Perkins & Will conceived the inline store section. Gimbel's was designed by Welton Beckett & Associates of Los Angeles, while Chicago's Lobel, Schlossman, and Bennett were responsible for Marshall Field's. The $20 million project, with more than 1 million square feet of floor space supporting 75 to 80 stores, was Wisconsin's largest shopping center at the time. It was originally designed as an open-air format. Mayfair Center was comprised of a ground level of retail and a service basement. At the end of the south end of the complex was a 3-level, 210,000 square foot Gimbel's, which was dedicated on September 19, 1958. 22 inline stores began business on the mall's official grand opening, which was held on October 9, 1958. The festivities, dubbed The Wonderful World of Mayfair, had an international theme. Marianne Mobley, Miss America 1959, released the White Pigeon. On hand were embassy representatives from 12 nations and foreign exchange students from 21 countries around the world. In January of 1959, a 6-story office building, the Professional Building, opened in the middle of the mall. The north end of Mayfair Center was anchored by a 3-level, 288,000 square foot Marshall Field's, which debuted on January 7, 1959. Now fully leased, Mayfair Center spanned approximately 778,000 leasable square feet and housed 70 stores and services. Original stores included Lerner's Shops, K. Campbell's Ladies Wear, Pan D Restaurant, Toy Fair Toys and Hobbies, Claude Furniture, The Record Shop, a Crambo Foods supermarket, and an S.S. Kresge 5 and Dime. The open mall consisted of 3 east-to-west corridors, the North Mall, Central Park, and South Mall, which ran the width of the mall, with each corridor decorated in a different color. The mall's central court also featured a park, which included trees, flowers, benches, and picnic tables. The mall's first cinematic venue, the Prudential Theater's Mayfair Theater, was built in the northeast parking area. The parking area also had space for over 6,000 cars. It showed a first feature on October 10, 1963, and was later expanded in November of 1983 when it added a twin theater, but it was later closed in 1993. In April of 1962, Gimbel's briefly changed their name to Gimbel Schuster's after they acquired their competitor, Ed Schuster & Company, but would be renamed back to Gimbel's by July of 1969. Over the years, the mall would have its share of competitors, with the Capitol Court opening in 1956, the Brookfield Square in 1967, followed by the Northridge Mall in 1972. With the trend towards indoor malls growing, Mayfair Center began its renovation and expansion. An enclosed arcade area known as the Bazaar had been built in the mall's front center section, which replaced the Central Park area. This mall within a mall opened on October 7, 1971. Some of its tenants were Mediterranean Imports, Daisy Jewels, Soap Opera, and the Hollow Tree. Renovations resumed at Mayfair Center in January of 1973. A $3 million remodeling project enclosed courts and concourses. The Central Park area was replaced with an ice chalet, a 10,000 square foot skating rink. The wall of lights contained 192 5-inch amber light bulbs that throbbed to the beat of synchronized music, pumped throughout the mall. The project was officially completed on October 11th, so by the holiday shopping season, skaters were skating on the 10,000 square foot ice chalet that opened, and the new bazaar area had opened along with a long rock-edged brooks full of goldfish spanned by short footbridges. During the enclosure, the North Mall and South Mall concourses were refitted with artificial streams filled with live fish. These ran the length of each mallway and separated the east and west store blocks. A park-like atmosphere was created, complete with trees, shrubs, footbridges, and fountains. A 2-level greenhouse, providing plants for the entire mall, was a new feature on the North Mall. The South Mall had an old-time bandstand with a glass floor covering part of the fish stream below. A mall-wide rededication took place on October 11th, with the official name of the mall being changed to the Mayfair Mall. An office tower was built on the southwest side of the mall in 1975, and construction began on the second in November of 1977. Unfortunately, the novelty of the ice chalet skating rink was short-lived. It hosted its final skaters on March 21, 1986, and was demolished as part of the $15 million mall remodeling. The Bazaar and Center Court ice rink were both removed, and the rink was removed to accommodate structural changes needed to support a 150,000 square foot second-story addition to the mall. The 6.5-story, 78,000 square foot atrium was built at the center of the mall, taking in some of the old bazaar area. It encompassed 2 levels and featured a small food court. The high-maintenance artificial streams in the north and south malls were also filled in. It also added 3 sets of escalators. The upper level was also expanded, adding 78,000 square feet of retail space. Following this expansion, the mall included 109 stores. The Mayfair Mall held its second rededication ceremony on November 6, 1986. The center now housed approximately 945,000 leasable square feet and contained 109 stores and services. In 1986, Gimbels closed. The former Gimbels location was converted to a Milwaukee-based Boston store, which debuted on August 1, 1987. Stores you may have remembered included Benetton, Gift of Wings, the Linden Room restaurant inside Marshall Fields, the Steak Escape, Ralph Marlin & Company, the Disney Store, the Nature of Things, Mansfield Store, Reality Check, Chalet-themed McDonald's, Captain's Steak Joint, and B. Dalton Books. In early 1998, a third configuration of the Mayfair Mall got underway. This added a new Pottery Barn and Learning Smith shops, an enlarged Eddie Bauer, and a 2-level Barnes & Noble. These opened between June and November of 1998. The General Cinema Corporation Mayfair Mall 18 was added to the mall's northeast corner. This megaplex was dedicated on May 14, 1999. General Growth Properties purchased the mall in a joint venture with Canada's Ivanhoe Cambridge in June of 1998. A fourth renovation commenced in May of 2000. During this project, the upper level, a part of the atrium, was extended towards the north and south. 160,000 square feet of new retail space was created. This became 2 teen apparel wings with stores like Aeropostale, Abercrombie Fitch, Delia's, and Zootopia. Moreover, the existing food court was doubled in size to a 14-bay area. The newly refurbished mall was dedicated on August 15, 2001. Remodeling continued into 2002. An exterior entrance streetscape was attached to the mall's west-facing facade. This added 20,000 square feet to the lower level. Existing Talbot's and Applebee locations were expanded. New restaurants joined the mall's roster, including P.F. Chang's China Bistro and Maggiano's Little Italy in 2003. The Mayfair Mall now encompassed approximately 1.1 million leasable square feet. The General Cinema Corporation chain had been acquired by AMC in March of 2002. The theater at the Mayfair Mall was rebranded as the AMC Mayfair Mall's 18. An IMAX auditorium would be added in 2009. The early 21st century expansion and refurbishment of the Mayfair Mall continued with the addition of 2 freestanding stores. A 10,200 square foot The Cheesecake Factory opened on October 26, 2004, followed by a 2-level 34,000 square foot Crate and Barrel. This store began business on August 31, 2005. On September 9, 2006, Marshall Field's closed. It reopened as a rebranded Macy's. In January of 2014, another remodeling of the Mayfair Mall began. They added a 3-level, 140,000 square foot Nordstrom in October of 2015 and a 2-level parking garage. Exquisite Threading and Payless shoe stores closed for good. Coldwater Creek, Champs Sports, GameStop, and Spencer's Gifts moved to other locations in the mall. Wet Seal, PacSun, and Express temporarily relocated in the mall, but eventually occupied stores in the new southeast wing. Mayfair Mall now encompassed approximately 1.2 million leasable square feet and housed 164 stores and services. As the Nordstrom addition was progressing at the Mayfair Mall, a new shopping venue was being built called the Mayfair Collection, which was entering its first phase of the district, a retail-based redevelopment of existing warehouse buildings. The initial stage was dedicated in April of 2014. The Mayfair Collection has stores like Nordstrom Rack, Old Navy, Dick's Sporting Goods, Whole Foods Market, and Versona Accessories. It also has a Homewood Suites by Hilton, as well as a planned apartment complex known as Uptown at the district, and several restaurants as well. Phase 2 is yet to be complete with stores and restaurants. Brookfield Property Partners acquired a share of the General Growth Properties in 2016. In August of 2018, Brookfield established 100% ownership of the corporation. Hence, the Mayfair Mall became part of the Brookfield Retail Center portfolio. In August of 2018, the Boston store closed due to the bankruptcy of the Bon-Ton stores. On February 2, 2020, Alvin Cole, a 17-year-old, was killed in an incident with police. Later that year, in November, a mass shooting occurred at the mall. 8 non-life-threatening injuries were reported, drawing a massive emergency response, including the FBI. The shooter fled the scene afterwards, and a 15-year-old was eventually arrested in connection with the shooting. The vacant Boston store building was auctioned in July of 2022, with the Wauwatosa Community Development Authority assuming ownership. Scheels, a sporting goods retailer, is renovating the building and will open a 2-level, 210,000 square foot store in the spring of 2027. The developers also have plans to construct nearly 1,000 apartments in the coming years on land south of what will be parking for the new Scheels store. Today, the 2-level, 1.2 million square foot mall has over 160 stores and services and is anchored by a Macy's, Crate & Barrel, The Container Store, Barnes & Noble, Nordstrom, and AMC movie theaters. Congratulations!
Still here? It's over. Whoa. When I find you.
Pop quiz, hotshot.
This is only a test.
So if you've gotten this far into the video, thanks! So how many Anchor stores closed or changed names at this mall? So if your answer was 3, give yourself a hand. You were paying attention. Thanks for watching. So what are some of your memories of this mall? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to Recollection Mall. Add your name to the mall directory. Thanks.